Happy New Year, everybody. It's me coming to you from my secondary secret lair on the first day of 2021. So I'm here for a couple reasons, just to wish you a Happy New Year. Next, I'm here to thank each and every one of my friends out there. And by friends, I mean clients and people who have come to me this year, allowed me to continue to do this wonderful unorthodox work that I love so much. So I'm here to extend a big thanks to you from myself and from Jessica. We definitely faced some challenges this year going online, and for all of you that have been profoundly patient with us, I really appreciate it. The second reason I'm here today, the second topic, is that I wanted to talk to you about New Year's resolutions. So something that some of you know about me, some of you don't, is that I've been a clinical hypnotherapist for a couple of decades now. And I was thinking about the dynamics of what a resolution is. Yes, we hear about it other times of the year, but mostly we hear about it right at this time of the year. So I want to start by saying there's a reason that people will start things at the beginning of any cycle, because it's kind of statistically understood that if we start something on a Monday as opposed to a Thursday, because of the defaults in our brain and how we like these clean slates, we have a higher chance of succeeding when we start something at the beginning of a cycle. So with a larger cycle, like a whole year, chances are we're going to pick something a little bigger to cope with in terms of looking at it, taking something out of our life. So to quit smoking, to lose weight, gain weight, get healthy, change your career, get things done. All of these things are important. We know what resolutions are because we look at them. It's not hard for us to identify the areas where we need to work on ourselves for our own joy, never for anyone else's. So one of my resolutions this year is that I was going to start making lists and trying to remember things by bringing them with me. This means you have to see me kind of wear these and do this back and forth, but I'm going to do my best to follow it, and I'm gonna ramble a little. So I've taken all of the techniques that I understand best from my understanding of the human brain and how it works, and programming, again, default settings, all of that. And I've taken a few things that I know to be extremely effective in creating underlying change, real underlying layered shifts in our consciousness, our paradigms. So I call this the psychology of progression, because that's kind of what it is. There's a way that it works in layers. Someone may not be a runner. I could chase you with an axe. You would become a runner very quickly. But are you a sustained runner? No, you're just running for your life, sort of a thing. So there's a difference in that, and we want to get into those deeper kind of levels. So number one, I'm not telling you anything you haven't heard, but be clear about it, and don't pick too many. Dear sweet friend of mine, Rachel, was talking to me over the holidays, and that's what she said. Keep it simple. Start in little steps. So be clear about a goal and make it attainable and realistic. And of course, that depends on you, what your situation is. And then do start in layers, a little bit at a time. And if that goal is 5 workouts a week, start with 2. It's okay. We don't have to go full on. A lot of the mistakes that we make, especially with the New Year's resolution, is that we kind of just free for all. We set that up in our head, and then we kind of just free for all of December. It's like, oh, yep, I'm going to do it then. And then really, we haven't built up those layers to really be there by the beginning of the year. So that's what I would say. Now, the next thing I would encourage you to do is understand your own excuses and blocks or speed bumps or whatever it is. I want you to observe over the next little while the little things you're telling yourself. Now, anyone who knows me knows I was a smoker for a few decades, and smokers are the worst in terms of this and convincing ourselves of the reasons why just one more day. So I want you to just observe that inner dialogue just by identifying identifying the things that you tell yourself, your own excuses. That way you have the clarity to understand where you need changes in your thinking and in your default thinking. And that's where some basic old affirmations can kind of come in handy. I would say to set a bit of a time structure, and what this doesn't mean is, I have to lose this much weight by, or again, gain. We don't have to be extremely pedantic in this respect, but I would certainly encourage you to have somewhat of a time limit. When we leave things infinitely, I've written this down before, that tomorrow always gets here sooner than you think and never comes. And so set a little bit of a time goal in terms of that. Don't avoid living. This is another thing, and right now is kind of maybe a great time to break any habits because we can't go anywhere. But what I'm saying is, if you've ever watched those shows where they try to change behavioral patterns like eating, and they go in and they kind of go drill sergeant, and the first thing they do is go into somebody's kitchen and they get rid of anything and everything that might be fattening or bad for them. Nope, right there you've just sent the message to yourself that you can't control yourself around those things. Don't start to manipulate your environment or feel like you have to do that. That will create feelings of desperation almost. You don't have to hide everything that's around you. Now, if it is smoking that you're quitting, and not going to the smoke pit might be helpful, but what I'm saying is immerse yourself in life and celebrate that you've made a decision to make some changes. Start living right away. Don't wait for the fireworks and that big moment of aha, because it's just real change. It slips under the radar. Fine little layers like a good phyllo pastry. Reward yourself for little steps. That's kind of a big one. Make sure that you treat yourself as you would a best friend or a child or an animal that we were training. Reward yourself for things, and remember to pat yourself on the back for even the littlest things. Fake it until you make it. Big deal. It really is a big deal, because we are manifesting in that quantum field of probability. Our brains are like projectors. So we have to believe it before we see it. That's just how manifestation works. And we can see how we can get, again, putting that kind of, tomorrow. Tomorrow's here now, today, for all of us. It's here now. Today is today now. Every time in the past you've said tomorrow, here it is, this is it. So there's not really much more to kind of wait for. And finally, just to sum this up, forgive some transgressions. But, one or two transgressions. If it is that you are quitting smoking and you fall off that proverbial wagon once or twice, forgive a couple of transgressions. But if we start forgiving it every day, then we've given up, then we're just smoking full time again. So allow yourself some leeway, but at the same time, you want to keep your brain somewhat focused on what it is that you want to do. Because remember, tomorrow is now today. It's here. So I just wanted to pop in and give you a few pieces of advice that I use to try to help to reset those pathways in the brain, the things that we're thinking, and kind of update them. It's kind of like updating a phone the odd time. And again, I just wanted to pop in and say Happy New Year. We're going to be having some more videos over the next while. I am doing a little bit of market research, so if you do have an opportunity to think of something you might want me to discuss, please list it in the comments. Let me know. I have gazillions of topics already, but I really want to make sure I'm bringing the information to you that you want to know about. So drop me a comment or two. Let me know. All I can say right now is, let's not let 2020 be that past anvil that hangs around our necks. We may be feeling differently, we may not. But let's just use this wave of energy as an opportunity to start manifesting and putting our energy and our thoughts in a different direction. So big love and hugs to all of you, especially those who had really any adversities to deal with over the holidays, like losses. Big love to everybody out there. And remember, we're all in this together. So can't wait to see you again. Have a really nice new year. Talk to you soon.